Megan Davis, a woman of 35, believed last Christmas dinner hosted in her new home would finally secure her family's elusive respect. After years dedicated to climbing the corporate ladder as a financial analyst, this gathering held immense significance. She had even invested her savings to assist with her mother's house renovation, clinging to the hope of mending their fractured relationship. While preparing the turkey, the kitchen grew stifling, prompting her to open the window for a breath of fresh air. What she overheard through that window shattered her heart instantly. This is the story of the Christmas that irrevocably changed everything. Growing up, Megan had always embodied responsibility. While other teenagers navigated the anxieties of prom dresses and football games, her concerns centered on ensuring bills were paid and her younger sister, Amanda, had necessary school supplies. Her parents' divorce at 15 left their mother, Judith, emotionally devastated and financially precarious. As the elder child, Megan stepped into a pseudo-parental role for Amanda, then only 8. Her mother never fully acknowledged Megan's sacrifices. She lavished affection on Amanda, labeling her the sunshine child, while treating Megan like a dependable appliance one never needed to thank. It was Megan who achieved honor roll, worked part-time jobs throughout high school, and secured college scholarships. Meanwhile, Amanda was encouraged to focus solely on creative pursuits and finding herself. Despite this imbalanced dynamic, Megan desperately craved her family's approval. Upon graduating with a finance degree, she secured an entry-level position at Marshall Financial Services. Over 12 years, she steadily ascended to senior financial analyst, often working late into the night and prioritizing career advancement over a personal life. Each promotion felt hollow without her family's genuine pride. 6 months before that fateful Christmas, Megan had finally saved enough for a down payment on a modest 3-bedroom home in a pleasant neighborhood. It wasn't lavish, but it was unequivocally hers, a tangible result of years of disciplined saving and careful planning. Just a week after closing, her mother called in tears. The contractor had discovered black mold in the walls. Judith, sobbing over the phone, explained insurance wouldn't cover it, and repairs would cost at least $50,000. She lamented Amanda's lack of savings and her own pension barely covering expenses. The familiar tightness gripped Megan's chest. The implicit expectation hung heavy in the air, unspoken but undeniable. Despite having just depleted her savings for the down payment, she heard herself offer help, volunteering to transfer money from her investment account. Her mother's relief was palpable. Judith praised Megan's financial acumen, declaring them lucky to have her. Those words nourished a starving part of Megan's soul. Perhaps this time, her financial sacrifice would forge an emotional connection. Maybe this Christmas, in her own home, she could finally feel her family valued her for more than her wallet. Megan dedicated 3 full days to Christmas preparations. On December 22nd, she meticulously decorated every corner of the house with twinkling lights, fragrant garlands, and family photos strategically chosen to highlight shared moments. She assembled a magnificent artificial tree, adorning it with ornaments collected over years, including several handmade by Amanda during childhood, pieces her mother had given Megan when she decided to adopt a more modern decorating theme. December 23rd saw her braving holiday crowds at the mall, determined to find perfect gifts. For her mother, she selected an expensive cashmere sweater in her favorite blue hue and a spa gift certificate. For Amanda, she purchased a high-end drawing tablet coveted for her graphic design projects, despite its eye-watering price tag. Thoughtful gifts were even acquired for Amanda's boyfriend, Tyler, whom Megan had met only twice, and her Aunt Catherine, visiting from Colorado. Her credit card winced with each transaction, but Megan pushed aside financial concerns. This Christmas, she told herself, was an investment in relationships. Carrying shopping bags to her car, she fantasized about their faces lighting up upon opening these carefully chosen presents. Maybe Amanda would finally offer a genuine hug, devoid of reluctance. Perhaps her mother would gaze at her with the same adoration she reserved for her sister. That evening, she confided in her best friend, Olivia, the only person who truly understood her complicated family dynamics. Curled on her couch with a glass of wine, she confessed to overspending on gifts. Olivia sighed, reminding her they had discussed this. She couldn't buy their love. Megan protested it wasn't about buying love, though deep down, they both knew that wasn't entirely true. It was about creating a special Christmas, she insisted. They were family. Olivia cautioned against expecting too much, expressing a desire not to see her hurt again. Megan dismissed the concerns. This time would be different. She had her own home, she was hosting. The power dynamic had shifted. December 24th dawned bright and cold. Megan woke at 5:30, too excited to sleep. Today would be dedicated to preparing traditional family recipes passed down from her grandmother. The menu was ambitious. Roast turkey with chestnut stuffing, honey-glazed ham, scalloped potatoes, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce from scratch, 3 different pies, and her grandmother's famous Parker House rolls. As she measured, chopped, and stirred, she envisioned her mother finally acknowledging her mastery of Grandma's recipes, perhaps even surpassing Judith's own. Maybe Amanda would seek cooking tips instead of rolling her eyes at Megan's perceived domesticity. This meal, she hoped, would become a new tradition, her home the heart of family gatherings. Each dish represented more than food. They were edible peace offerings, seasoned with hope and a desperate desire for connection. By 11 on Christmas Eve morning, the kitchen resembled a battlefield. Flour dusted every surface, vegetable peelings overflowed the compost bin, and a small army of mixing bowls stood in precarious towers. The 18-pound turkey, brined overnight using a gourmet recipe, roasted in the oven, filling the house with mouth-watering aromas. The doorbell rang just as Megan was crimping the edges of her second pie crust. Wiping her hands on her festive apron, she hurried to greet her family, heart fluttering with anticipation. Her mother arrived first, elegant as always in a designer pantsuit likely costing more than Megan's monthly mortgage. Her blonde hair, recently highlighted, was swept into a perfect chignon. Judith air-kissed Megan's cheek, careful to avoid smudging her makeup, remarking the house looked nice, though she would have chosen white lights for a more sophisticated look. Before Megan could respond, Amanda bounced through the door, her boyfriend Tyler trailing behind, carrying their overnight bags. At 28, Amanda still projected an aura of carefree youth Megan had never possessed. "Wow, Megan," Amanda laughed, gesturing at the carefully arranged nativity scene. "You went full suburban mom with the decorations, didn't you? It's very traditional." Megan forced a smile, suggesting incorporating some of Grandma's decorations. Amanda replied with a tone suggesting the opposite, calling it super cute. Tyler offered Megan an apologetic glance behind Amanda's back. Aunt Catherine arrived last, bringing a bottle of wine and offering a genuinely warm hug. "The place looks wonderful, Megan," she said, finding it warm and inviting. That single sincere compliment sustained Megan through the next hour of subtle critiques disguised as casual observations. Her mother inspected the living room with the critical eye of an interior designer planning a complete overhaul. Amanda collapsed onto the sofa and immediately began scrolling through her phone, occasionally showing Tyler something that elicited laughter from both. Lunch was simple, sandwiches and soup. Megan called from the kitchen, wanting to save appetites for dinner. "Perfect," her mother replied, claiming she was watching her carbs, a statement Megan found perplexing given Judith's history. "Catherine," Judith continued, "come see the photos of the renovation progress on my bathroom. The Italian marble was absolutely worth the extra expense." As they chatted about renovation details, Megan retreated to her kitchen sanctuary. The temperature had risen significantly with the oven running for hours. Sweat beaded on her forehead as she checked the turkey's temperature. Desperate for fresh air, she unlatched the window above the sink and pushed it open, sighing with relief as the December chill swept in. Voices drifted up from the backyard patio directly below. Her sister and mother must have stepped outside for a cigarette, a habit her mother denied having despite ample evidence. Amanda's voice carried clearly through the open window. "I can't believe we're spending Christmas with that loser." Megan's hands froze around the basting brush. "Just until she pays for the house renovation," her mother replied, her voice lower but still perfectly audible. "The contractor needs the second installment by January 15th. I'm ready to take her share too," Amanda said with a laugh that sounded nothing like the girlish giggle she affected around Megan. Megan's stomach dropped. Surely she had misheard or misunderstood. She inched closer to the window, staying out of sight. Did she actually believe you needed $50,000 for bathroom mold? Amanda continued, her voice dripping with contempt. The entire renovation only cost $30,000. The extra 20 is for my trip to Bali with Tyler. Megan has always been gullible, her mother replied. Remember when we convinced her that her college graduation conflicted with your dance recital? She actually skipped her own ceremony because she thought it would hurt your feelings if she missed you performing as tree number 3. They both laughed, the sound like ice water down Megan's spine. Her sister and mother had deliberately prevented her from attending her own graduation ceremony. A day earned through years of working full-time while maintaining a 3.9 GPA. Megan gripped the counter to steady herself. Have you seen this place? Amanda continued. Beige walls, basic furniture, family photos everywhere. God, she's so desperate. It's embarrassing. And wait until you see what she got me for Christmas. I peeked in the bag she had in her office. An artist tablet. Like I'm still into that hobby drawing phase. Well, the tablet can be returned for cash, her mother said pragmatically. And don't forget why we're really here. Your grandmother left more in her trust than we initially thought. Megan's portion is substantial, and with the right persuasion, we might convince her to invest in your business idea. The air quotations around business idea were audible in her mother's tone. Megan had been preparing to contribute to Amanda's proposed graphic design freelance business, having believed her passionate pitch about needing startup capital. She'll do it, Amanda said confidently. Megan always does what we want. She's so pathetically eager for approval. Footsteps approached and Aunt Catherine's voice joined them. What are you two plotting out here? It's freezing. Just discussing Christmas strategy, her mother said smoothly. We need to make sure Megan commits to the rest of the renovation payment before we leave. And ideally get her to back my business too, Amanda added. You two never change, Aunt Catherine sighed, though she admitted Megan was an easy target, always trying to buy affection with expensive gifts and elaborate meals. Speaking of meals, her mother suggested they head back in but reminded them to offer extra compliments on the food, reasoning that the more validated Megan felt, the more generous she would be when they brought up the money. Tyler didn't know about any of this, Amanda added, noting he actually liked Megan, finding her genuine. Well, don't let him ruin things, her mother warned. They needed Megan in a good mood tomorrow for their financial discussion. They continued talking as they moved toward the back door, their voices fading. Megan stood frozen at the sink, the turkey baster still clutched in her trembling hand. The carefully constructed narrative of her family life crumbled around her like a sandcastle hit by a tidal wave. Every sacrifice, every attempt at connection, every financial bailout over the years suddenly appeared in a new and horrible light. She wasn't the responsible daughter helping her family. She was the family ATM, valued only for what she could provide materially. Memories flooded back with sickening clarity. Her mother's sudden warmth whenever she needed money, Amanda's brief periods of sisterly affection coinciding precisely with her financial emergencies. The renovation money was merely the latest in a long line of manipulations Megan had willingly accepted, desperate to buy the love that should have been freely given. She quietly closed the window, trapping the cold air inside along with her devastating new understanding. Her vision blurred with unshed tears as she mechanically continued basting the turkey. The knife she had used to chop herbs felt dangerously comfortable in her shaking hand. A fantasy flashed through her mind, confronting them now, exposing their scheme, but reality quickly squashed it. A lifetime of peacekeeping held her in its grip. The back door opened and closed. Footsteps approached the kitchen. Megan busied herself with the cranberry sauce, stirring more vigorously than necessary. Something smells amazing in here, her mother announced, her voice warm with false enthusiasm. How had Megan never noticed the artificial quality before? You always were the best cook in the family. You get that from my side, you know? Megan couldn't look at her. Thanks. Dinner will be ready at 6. Amanda sauntered in, snatching a cookie from the plate prepared for guests. Wow, Martha Stewart would be impressed, though these cookies could use more vanilla. The criticism that would have wounded her hours ago now felt inconsequential. The magnitude of their betrayal made these small jabs seem like mosquito bites compared to the knife plunged into her back. Megan, you look flushed, Aunt Catherine observed. The kitchen's like an oven in here. I'm fine, Megan managed, though she was anything but fine. Her entire world had just imploded. Yet, somehow, she had to continue preparing Christmas Eve dinner with her fraudulent family. Tyler entered, offering genuine help. He asked if he could do anything, maybe set the table. His kindness nearly broke Megan's composure. She nodded mutely, pointing to where she had stored the holiday dinnerware. At least one person in this house wasn't plotting against her. The next few hours passed in a surreal blur. Megan excused herself to the bathroom 4 times. Once to splash cold water on her face, twice to silently cry, and once to text Olivia. "They're using me for money. All of them. Overheard everything. Don't know what to do." Olivia's response was immediate. "Those vipers want me to come over. You shouldn't be alone with them." "No," Megan texted back. "Need time to think. Call you later." When she returned to the living room, Amanda was in full performance mode, regaling everyone with stories of her challenging job at the boutique where she worked part-time. She claimed her boss totally relied on her, saying she had an eye for fashion that couldn't be taught. Her mother beamed with pride, declaring Amanda had always possessed natural talent, reminding them of the art contest she won in 4th grade. The contest where Megan's science project took first place at the state level the same weekend. But nobody came because Amanda needed support for her local art show, Megan thought bitterly. She'd never spoken this truth aloud, but now the memory resurfaced with perfect clarity. "Dinner's ready," Megan announced, interrupting their mutual admiration society. The dining table, set with her grandmother's china and crystal glasses purchased specifically for the occasion, looked like a picture from a holiday magazine. Candles flickered in sterling silver holders. The turkey, golden brown and perfectly roasted, commanded center stage amidst side dishes artfully arranged in serving bowls. "This looks wonderful, Megan," Tyler said sincerely. "Absolutely beautiful presentation." Her mother agreed with practiced enthusiasm, though she commented the table runner was a bit much with the patterned plates. Megan caught Amanda and her mother exchanging a glance. The extra compliment strategy was in full effect. Each time they praised something, she silently translated, "Your money will soon be ours." Throughout dinner, Megan noticed every subtle manipulation. Amanda mentioned the stress of living with renovation noise. Her mother detailed unexpected contractor expenses, and Aunt Catherine asked pointed questions about Megan's investments and retirement accounts. "So, Megan," Amanda said as they moved to dessert, "I've been developing that business plan I told you about. The startup costs are higher than expected, but the potential returns are amazing." Megan cut a slice of pumpkin pie with surgical precision. "What exactly are the startup costs going toward?" Her question, more direct than her usual pliable responses, caused a flicker of surprise on Amanda's face. "Well, equipment, website development, marketing, business stuff." "Business stuff," Megan repeated flatly. "Sounds comprehensive." An awkward silence fell. Her mother quickly intervened, praising the pie and asking for the recipe. "It's Grandma's recipe," Megan replied. "The same one she gave you 20 years ago." Another uncomfortable pause ensued. Tyler cleared his throat, suggesting they do gifts after dessert. The gift exchange that followed unfolded exactly as Megan had expected. Her carefully selected presents were met with polite but underwhelming responses. The cashmere sweater for her mother earned a tepid, "Oh, blue again. I've been wearing more purple lately, but this is nice." Amanda barely glanced at the expensive drawing tablet, offering a dismissive, "Thanks. This could come in handy someday." Their gifts to Megan were predictably impersonal. A generic scented candle from Amanda and Tyler, a department store gift card from her mother. Aunt Catherine at least gave her a book she thought Megan might enjoy, showing marginally more effort. After gifts, they watched a Christmas movie. During it, Megan noticed her mother and sister texting each other several times, despite sitting only feet apart. Planning tomorrow's financial ambush, no doubt. As everyone prepared for bed in the guest rooms, Megan found herself standing in her kitchen, staring at the window that had changed everything. How different this night would have been had she never opened it. She would have continued believing the facade, continued funding their lives, continued seeking approval that would never genuinely come. Lying awake in her bed, she replayed childhood memories through this new, painful lens of understanding. The time Amanda accidentally spilled punch on her prom dress, forcing her to miss the dance. Was that because Megan had been nominated for prom court and Amanda hadn't? The summer her mother insisted she work 2 jobs instead of attending a prestigious academic camp for which Megan had earned a scholarship. Had that been to ensure Megan could contribute to household expenses while Amanda attended an expensive arts program? The pattern was clear now. For 20 years, she had been manipulated, used, and dismissed by the people who should have loved her most. Tomorrow was Christmas Day. Tomorrow they would make their financial moves. Tomorrow would reveal what kind of person she had truly become. She woke at dawn on Christmas morning, her eyes gritty from unshed tears and lack of sleep. The house was quiet, her family still slumbering. Standing at her bedroom window, she watched the sun rise over suburban rooftops dusted with frost. The peaceful scene contrasted sharply with the turmoil inside her. Today would be different. Today she would not silently absorb their manipulations. The question was how to confront people who had manipulated her so successfully for decades. In the kitchen, she prepared coffee and started breakfast preparations on autopilot. French toast had been their Christmas morning tradition since childhood. As she whisked eggs with cinnamon and vanilla, she recalled Christmas mornings past. The year she'd given up her own Christmas list so Amanda could get the expensive dollhouse she wanted. The year she'd worked overnight shifts at a convenience store to buy her mother the designer handbag that now sat unused in her closet because it wasn't the exact model Judith had hoped for. She had been so pathetically eager for scraps of approval that she'd never questioned why she was always the giver and rarely the receiver. Even when she did receive, the gifts were afterthoughts, while she spent months selecting perfect presents for them. The smell of coffee and frying bread eventually lured her family from their rooms. Amanda appeared first, hair perfectly tousled in that deliberately messy way requiring significant effort. She yawned, helping herself to coffee, and noted Megan was up early. Megan replied truthfully that she couldn't sleep. Her mother arrived next, already dressed and made up as if expecting photographers. "Merry Christmas, girls," she greeted. "The French toast smells wonderful, Megan." Aunt Catherine and Tyler joined them, and soon everyone was seated around the breakfast table. The morning light streamed through the windows, illuminating the scene like a deceptive holiday card. Family gathered, smiling, passing syrup, the picture of seasonal harmony. Megan took a deliberate sip of coffee and said, "I've been thinking about the renovation project." The atmosphere shifted subtly. Her mother and Amanda exchanged a quick glance before Judith replied the project was coming along wonderfully. The contractor said it should be finished by February, assuming remaining payments were made on schedule. "Interesting," Megan nodded, maintaining eye contact longer than usual. "And the mold issue? Was it as extensive as initially feared?" A flicker of uncertainty crossed her mother's face. Judith explained that old houses had issues and it was better safe than sorry. "Absolutely," Megan agreed. "Safety first, especially when someone else is paying for it." Amanda nearly choked on her coffee. Her mother's smile tightened fractionally. "What's that supposed to mean?" Amanda asked, a defensive edge to her voice. Megan shrugged, stating she was just making conversation about the renovation. After all, she was invested in the outcome, $50,000 invested to be precise. "You offered to help," her mother said quickly. "That's what family does." "Yes," Megan replied evenly. "Family helps each other. Family is honest with each other too, wouldn't you say?" The tension around the table was palpable. Tyler looked confused, glancing between Megan and Amanda. Aunt Catherine studied her plate with sudden interest. "Megan, did something happen?" her mother asked, adopting a concerned expression. "You seem off this morning." Rather than answering directly, Megan turned to Amanda. "How's that business plan coming along? The one you need startup capital for." "What exactly is the business model again?" Amanda flushed slightly, describing it as complicated, a graphic design consultancy with an e-commerce component. "Sounds impressive," Megan nodded. "I'd love to see the detailed projection spreadsheets later. Being a financial analyst, I could probably offer some valuable input." "It's Christmas," her mother interjected smoothly. "Let's not talk business today. Megan, why don't you open the gift from me again? I included a gift receipt in case the color isn't right." The transparent attempt to distract her, to push her back into her compliant role, might have worked yesterday. Today, it only strengthened her resolve. "Actually," she said, standing up, "I need to finish preparing Christmas dinner." "Excuse me." In the kitchen, she leaned against the counter, heart racing. The subtle jabs had been exhilarating in a way she'd never experienced. For the first time, she was pushing back, however obliquely. The fear in their eyes when she mentioned wanting to see business details confirmed everything she had overheard. She had just put the ham in the oven when she heard movement from the direction of her home office. Curious, she quietly made her way down the hallway. The door was ajar, and inside she saw her mother and sister going through papers on her desk. Her aunt stood lookout in the hallway but hadn't noticed Megan's approach. "What exactly are you looking for?" Megan asked calmly. All three women startled. Her mother recovered first, claiming Amanda had lost an earring, and they thought it might have fallen when they put their coats in there yesterday. "An earring?" Megan repeated, looking pointedly at the financial documents in Amanda's hand. "In my filing cabinet." "Megan, this isn't what it looks like," her mother began. "Really?" Megan responded. "Because it looks like you're going through my financial documents without permission." "Don't be paranoid," Amanda scoffed, hastily replacing the papers. "We were just curious about what a financial analyst does. You're always so secretive about your work." "Let's discuss this in the living room," Megan suggested, her voice surprisingly steady despite the adrenaline. Once gathered there, an awkward silence fell. Tyler joined them, sensing the tension. "Is everything okay?" he asked. "Actually, no," Megan replied. "I just found my mother's sister and aunt going through confidential financial documents in my office." "We explained," her mother said dismissively, calling it a misunderstanding. "Now about the renovation payments. I was thinking we should discuss the timeline for the remaining funds. The contractor is eager to resume work after the holidays." The abrupt pivot to money matters confirmed everything. No more pretense about family bonding or Christmas spirit. With the scheme potentially exposed, Judith moved directly to securing the funds. "Funny you should mention that," Megan said. "I was just wondering about the exact breakdown of renovation costs. $50,000 seems quite high for mold remediation in one bathroom." Her mother's expression hardened slightly, citing complications and structural issues. "What kind of structural issues specifically?" Megan pressed. "Megan, I don't understand these technical details. That's why we hire professionals," Judith replied, irritation seeping into her tone. "Maybe I should speak directly to the contractor then," Megan suggested. "What's the company name again?" A panicked look flashed between her mother and sister. Amanda jumped in. "Why are you being so difficult? Mom needs your help and you're acting like she's trying to scam you or something." "Am I?" Megan asked quietly. "Acting like that? This is ridiculous," her mother declared. "After everything I've done for you, the sacrifices I've made as a single mother, now you're questioning my integrity." The familiar guilt trip that had worked countless times before. Megan felt its pull, the deeply ingrained response to apologize, back down, preserve peace at all costs. Instead, she said, "What sacrifices exactly, Mom? I'm genuinely curious because from where I'm standing, I was the one who sacrificed. My childhood, my graduation ceremony, countless opportunities, not to mention tens of thousands of dollars over the years." "How dare you?" her mother gasped. "I gave you everything." "No," Megan countered, her voice gaining strength. "I gave you everything and Amanda. And it was never enough, was it?" Amanda stood up, her face flushed with anger. "You're just jealous because Mom always loved me more. Don't pretend this martyr act is anything but resentment." The brutal honesty of her statement hung in the air. There it was, finally spoken aloud, the dynamic that had shaped their family for decades, acknowledged at last. "You're right about one thing, Amanda," Megan said, surprised by the steadiness in her voice. "Mom always did love you more, but that's not why I'm upset right now." "Then what's your problem?" Amanda demanded. "Why are you ruining Christmas with this interrogation?" Megan took a deep breath. The moment of truth had arrived. "I opened the kitchen window yesterday while preparing dinner. You were in the backyard with Mom and Aunt Catherine. I heard everything." The color drained from her sister's face. Her mother went perfectly still, a statue of denial preparing its defense. Aunt Catherine looked away, unable to meet Megan's eyes. "I don't know what you think you heard," her mother began carefully. "Let me refresh your memory," Megan interrupted. "I can't believe we're spending Christmas with that loser." "That was Amanda." Then you replied, "Just until she pays for the house renovation." and Amanda added, "I'm ready to take her share, too." Complete silence followed Megan's recitation. Tyler looked between Amanda and Megan, shock evident on his face. "You said that about your sister?" he asked Amanda. "She's taking it out of context," Amanda protested weakly. "Then please provide the context," Megan invited. "Explain how calling me a loser and discussing how to take my money could possibly be misinterpreted." "You were eavesdropping on a private conversation," her mother accused, shifting to offense as her best defense. "In my own kitchen in my own home, where I was cooking Christmas dinner for all of you," Megan countered. "And that's what concerns you, that I overheard your schemes. Not that you were scheming in the first place." "We weren't scheming," Aunt Catherine interjected, finally finding her voice. "Family finances are complicated, Megan. You're being oversensitive." "Am I?" Megan asked. "Then let's talk about the $50,000 for renovation." Amanda mentioned that the actual cost was $30,000 with $20,000 going toward her trip to Bali. Is that being oversensitive, or is that being defrauded by my own family? Her mother stepped forward, tears suddenly streaming down her perfectly made-up face. "I can't believe you would speak to me this way at Christmas after everything I've done for you. This is how you repay maternal love, with accusations and hostility." Tears that once would have devastated Megan, sent her backpedaling with apologies, now left her unmoved. She recognized the performance for what it was. Emotional manipulation, the favored weapon in her mother's arsenal. "Save the waterworks, Mom," Megan said quietly. "They don't work anymore. You're spying on us, twisting our words, and now you're being cruel to your mother," Amanda accused. "This is exactly why we—" She stopped abruptly. "Why you what?" Megan prompted. "Why you only tolerate me for financial support? Why you laugh behind my back? Why you sabotaged my college graduation?" "That was years ago," her mother protested. "You're bringing up ancient history to distract from your behavior now." "My behavior?" Megan laughed incredulously. "I welcomed you into my home. I spent hundreds of dollars on gifts you clearly don't appreciate. I cooked for days to create a perfect Christmas, all while you were plotting to extract more money from me under pretenses." "It wasn't like that," her mother insisted. "Then what was it like?" Megan demanded. "Explain it to me. Explain how deliberately preventing me from attending my own graduation ceremony was an act of love. Explain how lying about renovation costs is just complicated family finances." No one spoke. The Christmas tree lights blinked in the silence, colorful pulses highlighting the tension frozen on everyone's faces. Tyler broke the standoff. "Amanda, did you really say those things about Megan, about the renovation money?" Amanda glared at him. "Stay out of this. It's family business." "I think I've heard enough to understand the family business," Tyler replied, his expression hardening. "I can't believe I didn't see it before." Her mother switched tactics, her voice softening to the gentle tone used when requesting favors. "Megan, sweetheart, perhaps we've had some misunderstandings. Every family has its issues, but it's Christmas. Can't we set this aside and enjoy our time together? We can discuss finances after the holiday." "That's exactly what this is about for you, isn't it?" Megan realized aloud. "Finances, not family, not love, not genuine connection, just what you can get from me." Years of suppressed emotions suddenly broke through the dam she'd constructed. Tears filled her eyes, but not tears of submission or defeat. These were tears of raw truth. "Do you have any idea what it's been like?" Her voice cracked. "Always being the responsible one. Always giving and giving, hoping that eventually it would be enough to make you actually value me. I helped raise Amanda. I worked multiple jobs in high school so you could maintain your lifestyle after the divorce. I paid Amanda's college tuition when her scholarships fell through." She turned to her sister. "I was there for every crisis, every breakup, every financial emergency. I put my social life on hold countless times to be your emotional support. And behind my back, you call me a loser. You plan ways to extract more money from me." Amanda had the grace to look uncomfortable, though defiance still flashed in her eyes. "I just wanted a real family," Megan continued, the words pouring out after decades of containment. "I thought if I just tried harder, gave more, achieved more, eventually you would see me, really see me, not just what I could provide." Her mother started to speak, but Megan held up her hand. "I'm not finished. I've listened to your manipulations for 35 years. You can give me 5 minutes." To her surprise, Judith fell silent. "When I was 16, Megan continued, I won a statewide academic competition. The prize included a college scholarship. I ran all the way home to tell you, Mom. You were on the phone with Amanda's dance teacher discussing costume options. You waved me away without even looking up. Later, when I tried again to share my news, you said, 'That's nice, Megan, but we need to focus on Amanda's recital this weekend.'" "That's not fair," her mother protested. "I was a single working mother trying to juggle everything." "You were a mother with 2 daughters," Megan corrected, consistently prioritizing one over the other. "Every accomplishment of mine was minimized. Every need I had was secondary. And yet I kept trying, kept hoping that eventually I would matter as much as Amanda." The Christmas dinner she prepared sat forgotten in the kitchen. The turkey was probably drying out, the sides growing cold. None of it mattered. "The saddest part," Megan continued, her voice quieter now, "is that until yesterday, I still believed there was love beneath the manipulation. I told myself you took advantage because you were desperate, not because you didn't care. Now I know better." The doorbell rang, startling everyone. Megan wiped her eyes and went to answer it, grateful for the momentary escape. Olivia stood on the doorstep, concern etched on her face. "I couldn't stop thinking about your text. I brought reinforcements." She held up a bottle of wine. Her presence was like oxygen to a drowning person. "Perfect timing," Megan whispered, pulling her into a quick hug. "That bad?" Olivia murmured. "Worse," Megan confirmed, leading her into the living room where her family sat in uncomfortable silence. Olivia's arrival shifted the energy. She'd known Megan's family for years but had always maintained a polite distance, seeing through their facade long before Megan could. Her presence beside Megan felt like armor. "Olivia," her mother greeted with brittle cheer. "What an unexpected surprise. Megan didn't mention you were joining us." "Last-minute decision," Olivia replied coolly. Megan needed support. "We were just having a family discussion," her mother explained, emphasizing family to establish Olivia as an outsider. "I gathered," Olivia said, settling beside Megan on the couch. "Megan texted me yesterday about what she overheard." Amanda shot Megan a betrayed look. "You told her our private conversation. That's so like you, Megan. Running to your friend to paint us as villains." "I didn't have to paint anything," Megan replied calmly. "Your own words did that perfectly." With Olivia's steadying presence, a new resolve crystallized within Megan. For too long, she had allowed herself to be manipulated, guilt, and used. That ended today. "I've made some decisions," she announced. Her tone must have conveyed something new because everyone, even Amanda, paid attention. "First, regarding the renovation project." Her mother leaned forward eagerly, financial concerns temporarily overriding the family drama. "I will not be providing any additional funds," Megan stated flatly. "But you promised," her mother gasped. "The contractor is waiting for the next payment. We've already scheduled the work." "I promised based on false information," Megan corrected. "You claimed $50,000 was needed for mold remediation. According to Amanda, the actual renovation cost is $30,000, with $20,000 intended for her vacation." "That's not." Amanda was exaggerating. Her mother stumbled. "The full amount is absolutely necessary. Then you'll have no problem providing me with the contractor's detailed estimate, receipts for work already completed, and contact information so I can speak with them directly," Megan replied. Her mother's silence confirmed everything. "As I thought," Megan nodded. "Furthermore," she continued, "I spoke with my attorney last week about estate planning. This was a lie but a strategic one. I've made changes to ensure my financial assets are protected, including any inheritance from Grandma's trust." Amanda's head snapped up. "What are you talking about?" "I overheard that part too," Megan explained. "Your plans to access my portion of Grandma's inheritance through your fake business proposal." Tyler stood abruptly. "Amanda, is this true? You were planning to scam your own sister." "It's not a scam," Amanda protested. "I do want to start a business eventually. After Bali," Megan added dryly. Tyler shook his head, disgust evident on his face. I can't do this anymore. I thought I knew who you were, Amanda, but clearly I was wrong. What are you saying? Amanda demanded. I'm saying I'm not staying in this toxic situation. I'll get a hotel for tonight and figure out the rest later. He turned to Megan. Megan, I'm sorry. For what it's worth, I had no idea about any of this. I believe you, Megan said sincerely, and I appreciate your honesty. Tyler left to pack his overnight bag, leaving Amanda staring after him in shock. For perhaps the first time in her adult life, her actions had actual consequences. Aunt Catherine, who had remained largely silent, finally spoke. Megan, while I understand you're upset, don't you think you're being a bit extreme? Breaking up your sister's relationship over a misunderstanding. I didn't break up anything, Megan replied. Amanda's behavior did that. And this isn't a misunderstanding. It's a pattern of exploitation that I've finally recognized. Her mother, seeing her plans crumbling, resorted to her most reliable tactic, health concerns. My blood pressure, she murmured, pressing a hand to her forehead. I feel faint. This stress isn't good for my condition. In the past, this performance would have sent Megan scrambling for water, pillows, and immediate capitulation. Today, she simply said, the guest bathroom has a fully stocked medicine cabinet if you need something for your blood pressure. Olivia suppressed a smile beside her. I can't believe you're being so heartless, her mother hissed, the faint spell miraculously passing. After everything I've sacrificed for you. Let's talk about those sacrifices, Megan suggested. Name 3 significant things you've sacrificed specifically for my benefit. Not Amanda's, not the family's as a whole, but specifically to support my growth or happiness. Her mother opened her mouth, then closed it. For once, she seemed genuinely speechless. That's what I thought, Megan nodded. Now let me tell you my new financial plan. The money I had set aside for the remaining renovation. It's going into my therapy fund because God knows I need it after decades of this dysfunctional relationship. The investment I was considering for Amanda's business. That's now earmarked for a vacation for me alone. You can't just cancel financial commitments, her mother protested. We're counting on that money. I made no legal commitments, Megan clarified. I made promises based on emotional manipulation and false information. Those promises are now null and void. Amanda, recovering from Tyler's departure, turned her anger toward Megan. This is so typical. You're punishing us because you're jealous of the bond Mom and I have. You've always resented me. No, Amanda, Megan sighed. I've always loved you. That's the tragedy here. I genuinely wanted you to succeed, to be happy. I just finally realized that my resources will never be enough to fill the void in you that constantly needs validation and material things. How dare you psychoanalyze me? Amanda snapped. Just because you make more money doesn't make you better than me. This isn't about money, Megan explained patiently. It's about respect, basic human decency, not calling your sister a loser while eating food she prepared in her home. Olivia stood up suddenly. Megan, is that Christmas dinner I smell? Is it ready? The abrupt change of subject momentarily threw everyone. Megan nodded, grateful for her redirection. Yes, everything should be done. Great, Olivia smiled. What are your plans for it? Megan understood immediately. Olivia was offering an exit strategy. I think I'll pack it up, she decided aloud. The local shelter always needs meals, especially during the holidays. What? Her mother exclaimed. You prepared that dinner for family. Yes, Megan agreed. For people who actually care about me beyond what I can provide materially. It seems I need to reconsider who falls into that category. The implications hung heavily in the air. You're asking us to leave, her mother realized. On Christmas Day. I'm establishing boundaries, Megan corrected. Something I should have done years ago. You're welcome to stay if you can respect those boundaries and acknowledge the manipulation. Otherwise, yes, I think it would be best if you left. Amanda stood up, rage coloring her cheeks. Fine, we don't need your charity or your judgmental attitude. Come on, Mom. Aunt Catherine will go to a hotel. Her mother hesitated, suddenly realizing the financial well had run dry. Megan, surely we can discuss this reasonably. Families have disagreements, but cutting ties is so extreme. I'm not cutting ties, Megan clarified. I'm changing the nature of our relationship. No more financial support. No more allowing myself to be manipulated or devalued. If you want a relationship with me moving forward, it will be built on mutual respect, or not at all. The ultimatum hung in the air. For a moment, Megan saw something shift in her mother's eyes. A flicker of recognition, perhaps even regret. Then Amanda tugged at her arm. Mom, let's go. She's being ridiculous. The moment passed. Her mother's expression hardened once more. I never thought my own daughter would throw her family out at Christmas. What would your father think? He'd probably think I should have done this years ago, Megan replied, surprising herself with the confidence in her voice. He left because of your manipulations, too. Remember that. That struck a nerve. Her mother gathered her dignity around her like an invisible cloak. We'll collect our things. Catherine, are you coming with us or siding with this betrayal? Aunt Catherine glanced between them, clearly calculating which option would benefit her most. I think I'll stay at a hotel tonight. Give everyone space to cool down. As they left to pack, Olivia helped Megan begin packing the untouched Christmas dinner. You okay? She asked quietly. No, Megan admitted. But I will be. For the first time in a long time, I think I actually will be. Tyler emerged from the guest room with his bag. He told Megan he had called an Uber. Megan, for what it's worth, I'm sorry. I had no idea about any of this. You have nothing to apologize for, Megan assured him. I hope you can build something healthier with your family eventually, he said. But from what I've seen today, you're right to set boundaries. After he left, her mother, sister, and aunt descended the stairs with their luggage. The departure was as tense and awkward as expected. Amanda refused to look at Megan, storming out to wait in the car. Her aunt mumbled something about cooling off periods before hurrying after her. Her mother paused at the door. This isn't over, Megan. Families fight, but blood is thicker than water. Actually, Olivia interjected. The full saying is, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. It means chosen bonds are stronger than family ties. Interesting, isn't it? Her mother's lips thinned. Always the know-it-all Olivia. I see where Megan gets her attitude. Goodbye, Mom, Megan said firmly. Merry Christmas. She closed the door behind her, leaning against it as 35 years of tension began to release from her shoulders. The house suddenly seemed quieter, cleaner somehow, as if a fog had lifted. Well, Olivia said, raising an eyebrow. That was quite the Christmas drama. Despite everything, Megan found herself laughing. Understatement of the year. The aroma of roasting turkey filled her kitchen once again. But everything else about this Christmas was different. Christmas music played softly through speakers as Megan arranged appetizers on a serving tray. Voices and laughter drifted from the living room where her guests were gathering. Need any help in here? Olivia asked, entering with an empty wine glass. Just about done, Megan smiled, adding a final garnish. How's everyone doing? Having a great time, she reported, refilling her glass. Paul is showing everyone photos from your trip to Colorado last month. Paul, the kind and straightforward accountant she had been dating for 6 months, fit seamlessly into her reconfigured life. They had met in a cooking class she joined as part of her rediscovery tour, as her therapist called it. Perfect timing, Megan nodded, picking up the tray. Dinner's in 30 minutes. In the living room, a scene of genuine warmth greeted her. Paul sat on the sofa beside 2 colleagues from her office who had nowhere to go for the holidays. Her downstairs neighbor, an elderly widow named Eleanor, admired the tree with Olivia's brother Mark. Tyler, who had remained friends with Megan after breaking up with Amanda, chatted with his new girlfriend by the fireplace. These were her chosen family, people who valued her for who she was, not what she could provide financially. People who showed up reciprocally, bringing dishes to share, offering genuine compliments, listening when she spoke. As she set down the appetizers, her phone buzzed with a text message. Her mother's name appeared on the screen. Since last Christmas, their contact had been minimal and strictly on Megan's terms. No financial requests allowed, no emotional manipulation tolerated. Everything okay? Paul asked, noticing her expression. Just my mother, Megan explained. Her usual Christmas text. After the confrontation last year, much had changed. Megan had begun therapy, focusing on breaking the patterns that had allowed her to be exploited for so long. She had traveled alone for the first time, taking the vacation she had promised herself. She had joined social groups and cultivated new friendships based on mutual respect rather than utility. Her mother and sister had struggled with the new boundaries. Initially, there were angry calls, guilt trips, even showing up unannounced at her office. Megan remained firm. Eventually, faced with the reality that the Bank of Megan was permanently closed, they had adapted in their own ways. Amanda had actually gotten a full-time job and moved in with roommates. Her mother had downsized to a smaller home she could actually afford. Their relationships remained distant but civil. Occasional text messages and brief phone calls on birthdays and holidays. Aunt Catherine, surprisingly, had made more effort to connect independently. After reflecting on her role, she had apologized sincerely. While not close, they had managed a few pleasant lunch meetings over the year. Megan excused herself to the kitchen to read her mother's message privately. "Merry Christmas, Megan. Thinking of you today. Dinner at Catherine's going well. Your sister got the promotion she mentioned. Hope you're doing well. No guilt trip, no financial inquiry. Progress, however small." Megan typed back, "Merry Christmas to you too. Glad to hear about Amanda's promotion. Enjoying dinner with friends. Take care." Setting the phone aside, she returned to the living room where Paul had started distributing the appetizers. He caught her eye and winked, a simple gesture containing more genuine affection than she had received from her family in decades. After dinner, as everyone helped with cleanup, Megan found herself standing by the kitchen window, the same window that had changed everything a year ago. Opening it slightly, she let the crisp December air fill her lungs. The backyard was peaceful, decorated with twinkling lights she had hung herself. Later, as guests departed with warm hugs and sincere thanks, Megan sat with Olivia and Paul in the calm aftermath, nursing one final glass of wine. "I have something for you," Olivia said, pulling an envelope from her purse. "Open it now." Inside was a card containing 2 plane tickets to Italy for spring break. "We're splitting it 3 ways," she explained. "Me, Paul, and you. No arguments. You've spent enough enabling your family over the years to afford some actual joy." Tears pricked Megan's eyes. She didn't know what to say. "Say you'll come," Paul smiled, squeezing her hand. "You deserve this, Megan." Looking at their expectant faces, she felt a wave of gratitude so powerful it momentarily took her breath away. This was what genuine love looked like. Not manipulation, not exploitation, not conditional approval based on what she could provide. "There's something I've been working on in therapy," Megan told them, setting down her wine glass. "A letter to my younger self. I finally finished it yesterday." She retrieved the letter from her desk drawer and read it aloud. "Dear younger Megan, you are enough just as you are. Your worth isn't measured by how much you give, how much you sacrifice, or how much you achieve. The people who truly love you will never make you feel like you must earn their affection. The road ahead has difficult lessons, but I promise you'll emerge stronger. You'll learn that family isn't just about blood, but about who shows up for you consistently with respect and care. Most importantly, you'll discover that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's necessary. Those who get angry when you set boundaries are precisely the ones who benefited from you having none. Your journey to self-worth won't be easy, but it will be worth it. One day you'll look around at the life you've built and realize that by closing doors to those who depleted you, you opened windows to those who enrich you with love and the wisdom of experience. Your future self." Paul wiped a tear from his eye. Olivia hugged Megan tightly. "I'm still learning," Megan admitted. "Still figuring out what healthy relationships look like. But for the first time, I'm excited about that journey rather than exhausted by it." The Christmas tree lights glowed softly in the corner, reflecting off ornaments Megan had selected simply because they brought her joy. Her home, once a stage for performative family connection, had become a genuine sanctuary. That painful Christmas confrontation had ultimately given her the greatest gift: freedom to discover her true worth beyond what she could provide to others. The family she had built around her now wasn't perfect, but it was authentic, and that made all the difference.